Hi everyone, how's it going? I'm Dario, and in this video I want to share the story of a place that once existed but then disappeared, and what we can learn from our ancestors who lived and died there. In the book A Hunter-Gatherer's Guide to the 21st Century, the authors tell the story of Beringia, a place that emerged around 20,000 years ago during the last ice age, when most of the Earth's water became frozen in glaciers, causing sea levels to lower and exposing many seafloors, including the area between Russia and Alaska, which scientists refer to as Beringia. In a matter of time, people coming from Asia started to settle there. As the authors write, Beringia was a land of opportunity, a vast and open grassland, a landmass 4 times the size of California. Beringia was not merely a temporary land bridge, a passage between Asia and the Americas. People did not scurry across, the rising waters lapping at their feet, nor was it a lifeless plain. Life was surely difficult, but for thousands of years, Beringia supported a population of people who made their home there. As the world warmed though, the ice began to melt, sea levels rose, and Beringia began to disappear, the coastline encroaching on what had been home. Where to go? As the environment was changing before their eyes, the people of Beringia had to make a difficult decision. They could either go back to Asia, now as newcomers, having to negotiate territory with the people already settled there, or they could head east toward what's now known as America, a completely unexplored territory at that time. As the authors points out, both choices had pros and cons, but both were extremely risky. Eventually, some people decided to go back west to the land they originally came from, and some others decided to head east and became the first Native Americans. They both faced great difficulties, but eventually survived. Those who didn't survive, however, were the ones who didn't move at all. What can we learn from the story of Beringia? Even if it's partly anecdotal, it contains a lot of wisdom and is relevant to the times we live in. For me, the biggest lesson from this story is that in times of great change, mobility is an invaluable asset. The ability to move quickly and freely, both physically and mentally, is a great asset to leverage against change. And it seems that in our society, a lot of people have lost this ability. Because of our sedentary lives, we become anchored to one single place, and we start to accumulate things that weigh us down and makes it hard to move around, and we become attached to our things and to our place, and this has a psychological cost. We become also less inclined to change and to mobility, and this comes at a great cost, because I believe that mobility, both physical and more importantly intellectual mobility, is still absolutely fundamental to our survival as a species, just as it was to our ancestors in Beringia. And so today it might not be the land that is disappearing before our eyes, but it's the sense of normality that is constantly being disrupted. We live in a society that is changing really fast, and it's hard to keep up with it. And in a similar way, I feel that we're also reaching a threshold moment where we also have to make a decision. And either go back to live a simpler life, renounce progress, unplug from society and go rural, go off the grid and try to live a simple basic life, or we can embrace progress and new technology and accept the challenges that come with exploring this new territory. And so both choices have pros and cons, and both are risky. If you renounce progress, you might have a freer, stress-free life, but you also renounce the benefits that come with progress. At the same time, if you embrace it, you might enjoy the perks of it, but you might feel overwhelmed by the disruption that comes with it as well. And so which choice is best? It's hard to say. They are both legitimate options. But if there is something we can learn from the story of Beringia, is that by all means you shouldn't stand still. You shouldn't stay in place hoping that everything will be fine, because probably it won't. And so it's really important to reclaim our mobility, both physical and intellectual, and head east or west, but by all means get moving.